So, I mentioned a cash safety net in a lot of these videos, and the reason being is because it's a highly essential mechanism for accomplishing many of these financial goals throughout your life. And it's a great way of keeping you safe financially. So, what a safety net pretty much is if you think about the metaphorical sense of a safety net, it's a net that prevents you from falling from a great height. And what a safety net really does is it does that figuratively with your finances in case of a financial emergency. And these safety nets differ in size based on the likelihood of your own assessment of the likelihood of a financial emergency happening to you. And it applies differently for each person. And it is honestly probably the greatest defense against financial and personal disasters. So you're going to want to determine your risk level or the likelihood of the occurrence of a financial emergency. If you're at a low risk, you're probably irreplaceable at work, your housing situation is super stable, and I mean that family-wise and house-wise, and you live in a safe area for crime and natural disasters. Medium risk is what most people are at, where they have a stable job, where they're needed at their job, but they could be replaced if needed. The home life is just average, just a normal, nothing perfect. And they live in a safe enough area for crime and natural disaster. I feel that most of this applies to the average person. And then you have a high risk level. This person is living in a very unstable job. They could be easily replaced. If not, their job is going to be replaced. They have a very shaky home life, and the area they live in is not very safe of an area or high natural disaster area. And I understand that a lot of these factors can mix and mend, and I feel that it's within our responsibility to try to equal or average out those factors to figure out which tier we're in terms of risk level. So, you have tier 1, which is dream scenario, where everything's perfect. You're replaceable at work, you have a great family, you live in a super safe area, and an area that doesn't have very many natural disasters. Someone like that would still want to create a safety net. And a safety net for this person would be equivalent to 4 months worth of savings. So if you were to be paid for 4 months with a full salary, you're keeping 4 months worth of your 100% salary. Of course, you're not going to want to put away all of that, because then you would have $0 at the end of the month to take care of yourself, and then you'd end up probably somewhere in the high-risk sector. I don't think your family would really like that. So you're going to want to definitely put away slowly the amount of savings that amounts to 4 months. And my average estimate for 4 months worth of savings is probably about a year, or maybe a year and a half, maybe even less. 8 months worth of savings goes without saying. It's probably the average amount that the average person would probably want to save. And that should take about a year and a half to maybe 2 years to do so. Then you have the person who's very high risk, and they're probably going to want to save up to a year, 3 months worth of savings. It's a very time-consuming task, especially if you're already living on the dangerous side of life, but it's the greatest thing for someone who's living in a high level of risk life.